Welcome back to the 4 a.m. report. And I continue the series this week on how to be publishing way more on your website using your podcast. And while we've already covered how to switch podcast material to powerful writing that doesn't just feel like show notes, and in the second of the series, we covered off how to use different formats for publishing goals, because a blog is not just written. A blog can be anything, any format, really. So, in this third segment, I want to talk about cross-populating. Like pretty much every brand, small business, larger businesses, whatever it is, we've got a lot of material going out in different formats. So think about it like, what are you sending out on email? What are you sending out on social that might be more detailed? Because lots of people write long form stuff on social, put it out on places like LinkedIn and Instagram, and it's not necessarily getting leveraged on your website. So I'm not saying that every single word that you say out there on the interwebs needs to instantly be put on your website, but be sure that it's not being left out. Be sure that you are considering that as you assess your publishing needs, and you're not necessarily keeping those streams separate. So often what we do is we take audio stuff and move it over to video and, email and, vice versa. So really look into social. What is it that's going out on social that's doing really well, especially if you see a pattern more than one time? That should definitely be going on your website. You may have to add more detail and build it out, but that should. Secondly, if the things that you're sending out via email is not also appearing as blog posts, obviously don't do it at the same time, because if you've got a list of people, you want to be giving them some advance tips. However, a few weeks later, a few days later, whatever works for your business, it's totally okay to be publishing those things as blogs as well. So here's a curation of a bunch of clips of Will and I having conversations around the subject. And that might help as you try to think about doing an audit of the material that you already have out there and how it is that you can repurpose it to your website. Welcome to the 4 a.m. report. On this podcast, we dish about fresh-pressed, fun marketing. If you're stressed out and awake at night again, wondering what to do, you found your joy. I'm your host, Susan Diaz, podcasting founder, humor junkie, observer of human behavior patterns, and mom. Each week, we break down the latest headlines at the intersection of marketing and entertainment.
One of the things when we do start working with new clients, Susan, we go and look through their social media feeds, especially their LinkedIn feeds, because the LinkedIn post, is it can be an intellectual, longer than, an Instagram type post that you might write. And we're like, see what you wrote there on Wednesday and see what you wrote on Friday and see that little video you used with each of those posts. Let's take that copy and that video. And there's, all we have to do is add a headline or two, maybe add the intro and outro, or introduction and conclusion to the writing. And we've got 2 blog posts where you're zeroing in on a specific point, and you've got some supporting video or audio or an audio clip that you've got with it too. So that's something a lot of people, as you're saying, don't think that maybe what I'm writing on LinkedIn and spending all that time trying to sound really smart about this could literally become a blog post with a little bit of extra effort.
Yes, 100%. That transferability and making sure that you're not just creating for one platform. Don't just go throw things on all the platforms willy-nilly, but just making sure that you're really looking into your social media as a whole. And, whether it's something that's on Instagram, something that's on LinkedIn, make sure not only are they cross-populated, but also capturing that with a little bit more of a context and putting it on your website. Thank you for listening to the 4 a.m. report. If you like what you're hearing, we'd love if you left us a 5-star review.